Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I'm the Stretch Professor, and today we're going to be doing another coaching session for League of Legends, and this is going to be a Sion top game. So thank you very much, Chris, for the very generous donation. I really appreciate it. So first off, we're going to go over just some pre-game thoughts about Sion top, where he is in the meta, thoughts about items, runes, skill order, and such, and then we'll watch the game. I'll take some physical notes as we're watching it, and of course I'll explain, everything that I see as an opportunity for improvement. And then at the end, we'll bring together the top 5 to 10 things to help Chris sort of just recap and figure out the best, fastest ways to gain some more ELO. If you would like a coaching session yourself, you can just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. More than happy to set that up. It's just a $20 donation. Pretty good deal for the amount of effort that I put into this. If you want to watch more coaching sessions, I have a playlist link there for you as well. If you want to watch some in-depth champion guides that I have those listed. I think I said you can find this Google Doc in the description and timestamps if you want to jump straight to the start of the game as well. Other options, if you want to donate to the channel as well, I can do a $5 op.gg review during stream for about 5 minutes. So not as good as an in-depth coaching session because I can't see your actual gameplay. But for $5, it's a pretty good bargain. I'll sit there, I'll talk about your items, talk about your runes, talk about your, the champions that you're playing and where they fit into the meta, and so on and so forth for about 5 minutes of stream time. So I think that's pretty legit. If you want to see me play one of your favorite champions and give some commentary on it, maybe something that I don't play that often, then I'll do that for $10 on stream. I'll sing the song of your choice. I'm pretty terrible at karaoke, but some people get a kick out of that and enjoy hearing me sing some classic songs, so I'm willing to do that. $10 sounds kind of high for that, but the reason for that is with the singing, I have to demonetize the stream because it's going to be a copyright violation, and so I lose probably about $8 or $9 off of ad revenue from demonetizing the stream. So that's why I have to do that one. I have to do it that way. And then if you would like an in-depth guide about a topic of your choice, either an in-depth champion guide or a topical guide, about split pushing or macro or micro or different items, have all kinds of guides for those already on the channel, but I can do that for $25. I will say there's quite a long queue of those, so just email me if you're interested in that. I can let you know on how long that'll take. But yeah, I still have plenty of those that I have to do. Those take a very long time. I should probably charge a lot more for those. But I keep the price low, but it takes a while to get through them sometimes. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so Sion is overall place in the meta. I think it's really hard to play Sion right now in solo queue and top lane. I already was somewhat skeptical of him before, even when he was really strong, a couple of patches ago. In general, tanks top lane solo queue, especially ones that don't do a ton of damage, are really hard to pull off because you're just kind of counting on the rest of your team to do appropriate things, to make the right decisions. And a lot of times I feel like you're just kind of a bystander if you're a top lane tank. And unless, there are some tanks that can do it who put out decent damage, like Shin is one of the better ones, because he can teleport and make plays, across the map, and he's pretty good at split pushing, so he can 1v1 a lot of people, or he used to be able to before Conquer. He used to be able to 1v1 quite a lot of even the damage dealers in the late game. Someone like Nasus, who builds pretty tanky as the game goes on, is really impactful because he just does so much free damage and takes towers so quickly. Just has such a presence. Someone like Alawi, bruisery type of champions that are tanky, are still pretty good. So things like Jax, Irelia, Renekton, all those champions are good. But the problem with Sion is he just really doesn't do much damage. He doesn't scale at all, hardly, with common items that people build on him. He doesn't have very much percentage-based damage. He doesn't have any true damage in his kit. So he just really lacks in damage. What Sion does do well is he does push lanes really quickly, especially early on. So he's an early game bully who can push really well with his E. He can rotate with his ult. Against higher level teams, it will be hard to hit people with the ult, but it does still give him some ability to rotate and move around the map fairly quickly. And he's really hard to kill. So he's a pretty decent disruptor in team fights later on, and he's a good bully early on. It's just he's going to lose to almost everybody 1v1 in the top lane, so you don't have a split push option, which is pretty important in this meta. And with the Conquer rune being introduced, then a lot of bruisers will absolutely smash him. later in the game. So you're going to lose really hard to like Yasuo, Jax, Irelia. There's a lot of chance you'll lose to. So I'm going to give the best coaching that I can, but Chris also asked me in the email if he thinks that he should be playing another champion or if something might give him a higher win percentage. And to that, I would say yes. Right now, if you want to play kind of a tankish bruiser top, then I would highly recommend Nasus or Ilaoi right now. Those are both really good. Jax is also really good. He's a bit harder to play. He's different from Sion, but he's pretty good. If you like someone who is like a league bully that can be pretty strong, I think Renekton is very underestimated right now. I guess this is for April Fools, for champions like rotating. Okay, that's kind of freaky. But man, it's going to make this pretty hard to use. Yeah, Renekton I think is really underestimated right now. He has that early bully vibe to him, kind of like Sion. But he actually scales really well, and he's really good with Conquer because he has really nice bonus AD scaling. He has some nice healing and sustain in lane, so he can bully out almost anybody early game, and he's actually has pretty respectable damage later on. He's a little bit trickier because you have to, like, when you go in with your W, you have to cancel his W animation with a Tiamat. It's not that hard once you get used to it. But he is someone, if you like early game bully, that has a little bit of better transitioning but still wants to team fight. He's probably going to lose late game, most likely to a lot of those other super bruisers at 3 or 4 items, like the Jaxes and the Aurelias. But he's going to be a lot tougher in the early to kind of mid game, and he has a really good team fight presence. So he's who I would recommend. It probably is someone who's pretty strong right now that is similar in profile in some ways to Sion, in that he has pretty good wave clear and pretty good bully potential early. But I just think he's a lot better with the current kind of rune setup. Someone else might be Garen, who I think is probably pretty good with Fervor. I don't know for sure, but another champion's pretty simple, pushes really hard. I'm trying to think of someone else who might be similar. I said Nasus already. He's really strong. Yeah, I'd say Nasus or Renekton would probably be your best bets. Maybe Garen as someone to switch out if you like Sion and you want to play something that is going to be a little bit more meta on this patch. But let's go ahead and talk about Sion a little bit more. Okay, so you still want to get Comet, Mana Flow Band, Celerity, Scorch. I'm pretty sure you do this. And then Bone Plating and Second Wind. This is just going to give you maximum harassment early. Mana Flow Band's going to make sure you can just keep spamming all your abilities. Celerity, the movement speed's really good. Then Bone Plating is great for all ends. And Second Wind is going to help you against light poke. So it's pretty much what I would go most of the time on Sion. There is an argument, if you're against a relatively easy lane top, you could go Domination for like Ingenious Hunter. So you could go the Comet to Scorch, and then instead of Bone Plating and Second Wind, you could go something like maybe Ingenious Hunter and Zombie Ward. And that would give you a shorter cooldown on Banner of Command. And if you want to get CZ Rock Portal as well, you could do that. So that is an option. That's always an awkward build because you have the Raptor Cloak that builds out of both of those. So you kind of lose out on that speed around towers. But if you just want to go like super push, you could do that. That's usually a bit excessive. ZZ Rod's not that great, but Banner's really good on him. So, you know, this is probably what you should go 99% of the time. Good build. Almost always go Banner, I think. That just fits his style. He's very good at pushing early. This can help you get down that first tower. Sion needs to end the game early. Like I said, he's usually going to get outscaled, but he does bully really well early on. He puts a lot of pressure on towers. So, if you can take your tower down and then rotate around and try to put pressure on other lanes, then, you know, you can snowball and just go ahead and win before that Jax gets to his 3rd or 4th item. Righteous Glory is another good one. This helps you run into the fight and slow people down to make sure that you're going to be able to hit your Q on them. This is a lot more reliable than having to ult in. If you can ult point blank, if you can already get close to him with Righteous Glory, have him slowed, and then ult him point blank and full combo him, that's a lot more reliable for a kill. So Righteous Glory is super common build on him. After that, it kind of depends on the matchup. Abyssal Mask is nice if you're going to team fight. They did nerf it pretty recently, so it's not amazing, but you are going to get pretty close. So, you know, there's a good chance that people will be in range. Other things, you could go for things like Adaptive Helm. That's going to make you a lot tankier. Warmogs. If you want to get team-oriented stuff, you know, you could go for, like a Locket, maybe, after you go for a Righteous Glory. If you don't have a tanky support on your team, Locket could be an option if you want to team fight with him. Zeke's, you could do Zeke's. It's probably pretty bad because he has a fairly long cooldown ult. But that is an option. It really depends on the matchup. So I would almost always go these two pretty early, and then after that, it just sort of depends on what you need in terms of tankiness. Then you want to max your E, and then your W and your Q. The E is your good harass early. That's your wave clear. That's your armor shred. That's everything. So you want your E, then the shield, and then the Q is the final thing that you'll level up. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll get started here. How long did we take on that? Oh, I didn't see. Hopefully not too long. Not too long of an introduction here. Okay, so you're against Aatrox with Conquer. It's going to be really hard to win this, because he has a lot of sustain, so you're not going to be able to bully him out early on. Your team, in theory, is pretty good. I think you said you were Bronze 1 at the time when you sent me this. So the Azir and Bronze is probably pretty rough. Like, Azir is usually a pretty good champion to have on your team, but I think Veigar is probably going to be a lot stronger at this ELO range. I'm trying to think of scaling. I think you guys still outscale him, though, in theory. Warwick's really good scaling. Janna and Jinx are really good. Zyra Khan are okay, too. But this Aatrox here against you is going to be a huge problem. Probably. I haven't watched this yet, so I don't know for sure how this is going to unfold. That's just my assessment here. Unless Warwick comes up and camps this Aatrox, it's probably going to be a problem. What'd you start with? So you had Comet, and then I think you had Resolve as your secondary. Alright. Alright, Warwick's coming up here, level 3, so you can let him push into you, that's fine. So you just want to try to freeze it right here. You could maybe make a play on him. Alright, Warwick's probably going for a 3 camp top. So he's going to get Wolves red and then come up here. Be aware that Kane's probably going to be up here too, though, about the same time as Warwick. I think Kane usually starts Raptors. Yeah, you should at least use your E to farm right there. Okay, there you go. Good, yeah. Freeze it. Okay, good. Now, he probably just warded the Tribush, would be my guess. So I would tell Warwick that. I would tell him that Tribush is warded. Yeah. Yeah, Veigar's probably going to be a problem. Veigar's just a lot easier to play than Azir. Warwick's wasting time. Mid lane, that's bad. Now he's going to be injured. He might even die. That's pretty bad news for you. Yeah. Yeah, because you really need Warwick in this matchup. And that's what feels bad. Like, if you're playing a matchup that's going to be a losing matchup and you need the jungler, like, that's rough. You want to always try to have, like, winning lanes. Usually Sion can bully people out, you know, early, or at least he can kind of bully people, but a lot of these fighters with Conqueror now, it's sort of flipped the script quite a lot. And they've nerfed a lot of the tank items, too, over the last, you know, 4 or 5 patches. And they've kind of nerfed the Resolve tree to some extent. Okay, here you go. Yeah, so you get that slow on him. Okay, good. Alright, hopefully... Okay, sweet. He used his escape. Warwick should be able to run him down. There you go. Good. Yeah, push this in. Go ahead and E that through. You gotta push. He's gonna teleport back in here. Push, 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 push. Use your spells. Like, use Q and E here to push. He's going to teleport right on top of you. Maybe, I mean, unless you're trying to bait him and get Warwick to come up here. Like, in advanced tact, you got to hit some of these CS, too. I think you just missed like 5 in a row. You know, if you're not hitting a lot of the CS, you can go into the practice tool. Sometimes it's helpful. You don't have to spend all day in there, you know. It's just try out the practice tool 1 or 2 times. You know, like maybe just 5 minutes before a game just to kind of warm up, make sure you're good to go. But yeah, you got to hit those wide open CS. Because he's going to get most of this. So, you know, it's basically just been a farm off so far, and he died, and he's the same CS as you pretty much, and that shouldn't happen. Anytime you kill somebody, you should gain about 5 CS or so. You know, you should be able to push in and make them miss most of a wave. What are you waiting on here? You got to buy quick, man. You're about to start losing stuff. You got to teleport back. You got to teleport back. Yeah, you got to be quicker than that. Okay. I mean, maybe you're waiting on that control ward, I guess, but I mean, I guess you didn't miss too much. You missed like 1 CS at the tower, but because he was pushing. So it wasn't as big of a deal. Now he flashed, so you need to be telling Warwick, hey, come back up here. He used his flash. Like, especially in bronze, like, people won't be thinking about that. They'll just say, sweet, we got a kill. That's it, you know, and they'll just wander around and just gank random places. But you got to tell them, hey, no flash top. Come back up here. Let's kill him again. That's a free kill. And this Aatrox, we already see that he's willing to jump in. Like, he's not really thinking that there could be a gank there. The temptation a lot of times, too, is for junglers to want to help losing lanes in lower elos because the losing lanes complain the most. So, you know, they'll always... People who are dying are like, God, where's the jungler? Why can't, you know, I ever get a jungler to help me out? And so, because they're the loudest and they complain the most, and a lot of times in bronze, people don't know better, then the jungler might actually try to start helping these losing lanes. Or he needs to come help you. And yours is a guaranteed kill. Now, yes, Sion doesn't scale that well with gold, not as well as someone like Azir does, but Warwick does. Warwick scales very well. And so if he comes up here, he can get a lot of kills. So yeah, I would have told him definitely something like, hey, come back up here, I'll give you free kills. Talk about him getting the free money. And then that'll make him come up here, probably. But yeah, Aatrox's flash is going to be off cooldown here in probably about a minute or so, minute and a half. You might be able to beat him. Okay. I'll speed this up a little bit here. I assume Aatrox. Oh, he stayed. Okay. Kane's middle. Yeah, it's come over here and pressure. Kane's in the middle. You don't have to worry about warding. Nah, I would pressure. You can't give him a free back here. Well, he is healing, I guess, off of his W. That's fine, I guess. Okay, you did get a little bit of a CS advantage here. Warwick's trying to go to these losing lanes. So that's... You got Ninja Tab out, right? Nah, definitely get Ninja Tab out there. You need the move speed. Especially as top lane. You have a lot of ground to cover. When you have to walk back to lane, or if you want to rotate, or even just moving up and down this lane. It's a really long lane. So I would definitely get Ninja Tab Eye first. Going Frozen Heart first, I guess. I would still go Banner, because you have a really big push advantage on this guy right now, until he gets Tiamat. Well, he does have Tiamat now, but I still think that I would just go for the push. Just force Kayn to come up here, so that your other lanes will get a bit of a break. You have to tell Warwick to come up here. He's gonna die again, potentially, going after this Veigar. I guess they got him, but... I don't know. He went through his entire flash time without Warwick coming up here, so Warwick didn't come up for an additional 5 minutes. There's Kayn. That's good. You want Kayn up here because he's probably not going to be able to kill you, and that takes pressure off of mid and bottom. And Kayn is likely to come up here and sit on you because you're the only winning lane right now, so... Don't run in. Don't. Warwick can solo him. Don't go chasing this. You're just wasting time. Just come over here and get the CS. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Warwick should be able to kill him. Yeah, Warwick's got him. Don't worry about it. Just get the farm. Ult him, ult him, ult him. No, give up, give up, give up, give up. Okay, good, 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 Bale. Okay, good. I thought that was going to be too dangerous. Yeah, keep running. Ping Warwick back. Y'all don't want to mess with him. No, you stayed. Stayed too long. Yeah, you had to just completely leave. Just walk all the way out. Veigar might kill him too. I hope he doesn't try to back right here. Oh, God. Yeah, run. Please just run out of there. You have TP? Okay, you're gonna have to TP in as soon as you spawn. You need to do it before Veigar gets to the tower. Okay, yeah, TP in, TP in, TP in. Yeah, so that was a big thing, is you have to back in a safe place. Or you weren't even backing, you were trying to push, but I assume you saw Veigar. I think people pinged it. Yeah, you can't really do a lot about that. Like, a top laner's biggest strength as the game goes on, there are two things top laner can do really well. It's like flank TP. So TP in, flank, get in there and do cleanup or kill the back line, and split push. Those are like the two biggest contributions. And the thing about Sion is, he's not that great at either one of those. I wouldn't TP onto that. Because even though Aatrox is behind, he still is going to beat you in a split push eventually. And Sion's just not mobile enough if you get the first tower down to split. So you're kind of just stuck up here farming. Where you... You have ult at least? Oh, you gotta combo that faster. Okay, good. That was good. Get this dragon, get this dragon. It's up right now. Okay, good. That was a good teleport. I would have probably teleported here instead of back there. Like, you always want to try to... Well, not always, but on a tank, a lot of times you want to teleport for flanks. Dragon, 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 dragon. You guys have to get something. No, that's a wasted opportunity. Y'all either had to get dragon or push middle really hard and try to get that tower. That's really healthy, though. I think the dragon is the best thing to do. Getting kills doesn't really matter that much. It only matters if you get other stuff. Okay, good. Push this. Use your Q. Push it really hard. Get this tower. Ping the tower. He doesn't have teleport. He used it a second ago to come back to lane, or a couple of minutes ago. No, 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 no. Get this tower. Get the tower. I think this is a waste of time. I think they're just gonna run away. No. I would have just pushed it. No, no. Yeah, y'all should have at least just traded towers and then just told them to back and just, like, defend this. No, what? Yeah, so y'all should have had dragon, and after you killed them here, you should have just pushed and just traded towers. So, alright, let me write some of this down. Alright, let me let me rewind that real quick. I was reaching for my notebook here. And charge that Q up. Let me say it one more time. Think. Alright, so we know we've got Rakan bottom. Zaya's probably with him. Your people are pretty far behind, though. Jinx is kind of coming close. It's just you and Warwick right now. You have all your stuff? You have your stuff. Is Irakan or bottom? I guess it looks like okay time to engage. As soon as you hit this, though, like, you have to hit your Q after that. You have to hit him, and as soon as you hit him, you have to full charge your Q. Q to stun him, and then E on him. Like, that's the combo with the ult. So as soon as you get knocked up... Oh, you did it the wrong way. Okay. Did you use your E yet? No, you gotta Slayer's Roar and, like, push stuff through him. So I think you Q'd the wrong way and you didn't E. I mean, that was a decent place to try, I think. That was kind of a sneaky place for him to hide. They're probably going to win this 2v3. We'll see. Coming through with the big plays. Alright, okay, so what I was writing down is you want to make sure that you get objectives after kills. You know, what else in the lane? I mean, you played the laning phase fine. You were up CS. Okay, nice. Good. Alright, so that's pretty solid. How long do you guys still have time? Push. No. Stay here with them. Help them push this. No, y'all still have 10 seconds. You have to get this tier 2. No, it's just one guy. You have a cannon minion. You can't let one guy stop you from getting a tier 2. You gave up on that too fast. Especially when you're going to get outscaled when they're so far ahead of you, you have to really, really push your advantage. Like, you had a 4-on-1 at this tower, and you had a cannon minion. And you could easily dive him with all of your armor. So yeah, I would have definitely stayed. You need to leave. You need to leave. They could, in theory, be all around here. You know Veigar's coming up. No, you gotta go. You gotta go. No. Leave. They're gonna kill you and get Baron. Go ahead and ult her. Ult these guys. Ult them. Ult. Fight them. Yeah, they're gonna get Baron after that. Yeah, you had to leave much sooner than that. So as soon as you see Aatrox there, you know that all of them could potentially be pretty close, because he spawned about the same time they did. And that's the only place on the map where they would be, right? They're gonna be around Baron, because every other tier 1 is down. There's no dragon. You're pushed up really far. None of the other lanes are pushed up. So the only logical place for them to go is to come up there to kill you. what are you getting next? Okay, good. That was good. You're still pretty relevant for right now with Sion. The issue is, like, if this game goes on another 10 minutes, it's like Sion just doesn't really get that much better with items. Like, has very strong base numbers, but as the game goes on, like, he doesn't have any armor scaling, I don't think, or magic resist scaling. He doesn't have true damage. His HP, percentage HP damage is limited. It's just his shield, which is on a long cooldown. And this is the other issue, is he's very immobile. So you can't split up that far, or people could run you down and kill you. Now, you have enough armor where they're not going to do it here, but you see you can't really even push much past here right now, because they could run you down and kill you. Now, the good news is the only one on their team who is that meaningful right now is Veigar. The bad news is you don't really have a good way to deal with him. He just does too much damage right now. But yeah, you can't really split that far. Yeah, they're probably going to Baron here. You're going to have to push up now. They're all bottom, so now you know it's safe to push up. You could push to, like, right here, because they're going to be on Baron. Yeah, I would have pushed up one more wave. This will delay their push. So what they're going to do is they're going to go Baron, then they're going to run up middle. And if you push this up a little bit more, at least into their tier 1... then they're probably going to get this inhibitor, but then they won't have a wave to come back and get the top inhibitor. It is kind of slow pushing anyways. But they're going to, whoever comes up here eventually in like 3 minutes is going to be able to catch a huge wave right here and get all of that experience. Okay, well, it looks like they're going up there anyways. Okay, yeah, this is a fight. You guys need to take this. There are 2 of them top. Fight. Start. Use your ult. Start fight. That was your best chance. Because you had 2 people top fighting for that CS. Now they're all going to rotate down here and collapse on you. You need to try to run. I think Veigar's going to cage you. Yeah, I think y'all had to really hard commit to that. Like, you had to go ahead and ult and just start a fight. As soon as you see 2 people, like, away from your team, especially if they don't have teleport, then you need to just go and fight when you're behind. What? What? Okay. Alright, you got 2 dead. Yeah, push this up. I feel like you should be pushing these waves faster. Yeah, full charge Q. Okay. Yeah, you want to go Adaptive Helm instead of Spirit Visage too, because Sion has no healing in his kit. So if a champion has no healing in their kit, then you always want to go Adaptive Helm. Pretty much. Unless, like, your allies are going to be healing you for a lot, which is not going to happen. I mean, this Janna, I don't know what she does, but she doesn't full charge an ult to heal people. Alright, there's a flank right here. He's still going to one-shot. Well, maybe not. Yeah, he's basically one-shot. He probably has, like, over 1,000 AP right now. Yeah, he has 1155 AP. And the reason why you want Adaptive Helm, that that extra 20% reduction is a really big deal on a lot of spells. I think it has more magic resist on it too than Spirit Visage. I can't remember exactly. I just remember, like, with Spirit Visage that if you don't take advantage of that plus 30% healing, then it's really not worth. That's why you would see something like Spirit Visage on Nasus, because he has a lot of lifesteal off of his Q and his passive, but, like, on someone like Sion, Adaptive Helm is what you almost always see, because he can't really do anything about that. Okay. Yeah, this is sort of a problem of scaling, is they just outscale your team really hard. Sion just has a certain... There's a certain time limit on Sion, and if you can't close the game out fast enough, then he starts to fall off really hard. And the issue with that, especially as you kind of move down, you know, the ELO brackets a little bit, once you get into Bronze, is that people won't close games out. I mean, these guys had been ahead forever, and they just did not close the game. Even the winning team didn't close it that much. You know, they could have ended this game at 20 minutes if they just grouped up and, like, quit running around doing goofy stuff. But, okay, let's bring all of this together here. Alright, so one of the biggest things that I saw several times that is fairly easy to fix, I think, is say focus objectives, just so I don't use get twice. How about take objectives? There we go. Take objectives when your team gets kills. There were several times where you guys didn't really pressure this. Like when you got a couple of kills top near the end. I guess not near the end, but when they used that rift middle, you guys could have traded towers and taken top tower. There was a time where you could have gotten dragon where you killed 3 or 4 people. Instead, everybody just kind of milled around. There's a time in middle where 4 people were dead and it was just Kayn defending, and you had 4 people stacked up at the tier 2 mid tower with an incoming cannon wave. You guys could have easily bullied that Kayn off of that. So that's 2 towers and a dragon that you could have had there. Now, would that have completely turned this game around? Probably not, but you never know, maybe. I mean, getting that extra global gold, getting that extra map position could have been a big deal. So you always want to make sure you're getting the maximum amount of objectives that you possibly can every time that you get killed. So as soon as you get a kill, the thing that should be going through your mind is like, what can we get? What can we get? And just start like asking yourself those questions every time you get a kill. Just look at the minimap and say, okay, is there a tower that has a wave on it that we can go push? You know, is there a dragon that's available close by? Is there an enemy buff we can steal? You know, is there time for me to go place a good ward in their jungle? Just anything at all. Can we get the scuttle? I mean, anything that you can take from them whenever you get a kill is good. And I have a whole video about that called like 5 tips for better macro, if you want to check that out on the channel. That'll talk about how to prioritize these different things, how to figure out if you should go for a tower or go for a dragon or go for Baron or go for inhibitor. I talk about all these things in that video, so I don't have time to rehash them all right now. But if you haven't checked that out, be sure to check it out. It's on the main channel, just under guides. But Yeah, that's a big thing, is you got to make sure that you're getting more than just kills, that you're getting towers, dragons, just anything that you can get. Because you guys did win some team fights, right? You know, you won probably 4 or 5 team fights that game, but the difference was you just didn't get anything. Whenever they won fights, they were getting towers, dragons, all that stuff. And whenever you guys won fights, almost always it was just, you might push a wave maybe, and then everybody would just kind of split up and keep doing their thing. Like, they just go back in the jungle, you just go back to top and start farming. You need to make sure you're getting a lot more than that. Similar to this, you need to make sure that you're pushing faster after you get kills. It always annoys me. I don't know why it starts at 1.15. Like, who does that? You need to push. So, after you got that first kill top lane, it took you, like, probably 20 seconds to push that wave in. You need to just automatically E down the entire line. When it's walking up, you just E the top minion. It'll hit all of them beforehand. Then just charge your Q up. Full charge Q, full charge W, and that should just about clear the wave. And sort of similar to this, push waves faster after kills. And then another one is you know, you need to practice trying to last hit CS in the tools, in the practice tool. And that's, or just like play a bot game or something. Just, you don't have to do a lot every day, but just a little bit just to warm up and just make sure that your last hitting is on point. Because there were a lot of wide open CS that I missed there. And I don't usually mention this in a lot of coaching videos, but it is a thing that I think a lot of people could benefit from. Is just making sure you last hit. I mean, if you look, you only had like 100-something CS at like 20 minutes. It has to be a bigger number than that. And sometimes it's just getting used to, you know, champion's attack animation, just understanding how much AD they have, just making sure that you get that last hit down. So you just want to get it in your muscle memory and your visual memory, you know, where you see, okay, it's at this amount of health, I can, you know, auto attack it, make sure that I get it. So you got to improve that CS a little bit, and one of the only ways to really do that is just to practice and just focus on it. You know, just make it a goal. Just say, hey, by 10 minutes, every single game, I'm going to focus up on this CS, and I'm going to make sure that I have 60 CS or something like that. I think 60 CS would be pretty good for bronze level play. You going to get her up? I think 60 CS is a good goal to start with. As you move up, you know, you'll want to get closer to like 80 or maybe even 90. Some of this depends on the matchups, obviously. If it's a really hard matchup or if the jungler is camping you, you know, your numbers are going to go down. But I think aiming for 60 is a good, like, attainable number. Because minions spawn at, I believe, 1:30 these days. They've changed the spawn times over time. So that means that there are 13 per minute, because you get 6 in a normal wave, and then the cannon minions every other wave, so once per minute. So there's about 13 per minute. High times 8 for 8 minutes. Then you get an extra 30 seconds, which would be another 6 or so. It might be 6 or 7. But so there's like 110 possible CS that come down the lane. Is that right, Rory? Yeah, there's 110 of them. That's a big amount, isn't there? Yeah. Yeah, so getting about half of those is pretty reasonable, isn't it, Rory? Yeah. Yeah, so there's about 110 minions that come down by 10 minutes. And, you know, you're obviously not going to be able to get all of those because you have to ward, there's going to be a fight, you know, all of that stuff. But you do have teleport also, so you're not going to miss, you shouldn't miss any, really, in the first 10 walking back to lane, because your first teleport's almost always back to your lane. And then after that, you have to decide, well, do I want to hold it or not? But, you know, your first teleport back to lane means that you shouldn't really miss any CS, because you should know exactly what you want to buy when you get into the pool, and then teleport back immediately after you buy your stuff. So, you know, 110 minions. So that's a lot of minions. So if you're only getting, I didn't see what exactly your score was by 10 minutes, but, you know, it was probably closer to 40 or 50 maybe. Just try to see if you can get at least 60 by 10 minutes. And then just move up from there. So just practice it. And I know it's not the most fun thing to do, but Or at the very least, if you don't want to use the practice tool, at least just make it your mission. Just sit there and focus on it and just say, I'm going to get this CS. That's one of the best ways to get out of bronze is just CS better. If you're playing a non-support role, just hit more CS than the enemy. Every, 17 CS or so is going to be equal to a kill. 20. I will say 20, because a kill also gives an assist. It's like 20 CS. Usually it gives an assist times 20. It's like 400 gold if each minion's worth about 20 gold, which is probably worth closer to 19. But anyways, a good rule of thumb is just think of 20 CS as a kill. So, if you're up like 40 CS on the enemy, that's the equivalent of, about 2 kills. 2 to 3 kills. So, if you're going to CS better, a lot of times you'll just end up winning. So start fights if you have superior numbers. This is something that came up at the end where you saw 2 people top lane in theory. If you're watching the minimap, you see 2 people top lane. All of your team is in mid lane. Just fight. You have a 3v5. Even though you're behind, even though they have Baron, just go ahead and fight because you're just not going to get a better chance at that point in the game. You're already really far behind. You just had to take advantage of any possible, advantage that you might have, right? So you want to make sure that you just pull the trigger like immediately if you see a good thing. Ping it a lot. That's another thing I want to say is ping more, communicate to your team, let them know when they're going to get ganked. Let them know when you're going to go in. So if you're about to engage with your ult, just ping it like 3 times and just let them know, okay, I'm going in. And this is good on any champion that has a way to start a fight, is you always want to let your team know that you're going to go in. Just ping it like 3 times, ping the assist button. Just let them know that you're going. This is another thing also is you need to be aware when people are missing from other lanes. So when Veigar was roaming up and got that kill on you and you're still trying to push, he walked over a ward in the river and he was missing from mid lane. I think somebody else pinged it also. So just make sure that you're paying attention to these things and really respecting, wow, Veigar's pretty fed. He can probably kill me if he comes up here. Also, when you died and your team got caught around Baron, one of the first times you were pushed up to the tier 1 tower with no vision of the river and you saw Aatrox, and you should know, okay, well, if Aatrox is here, he spawned at about the same time as everyone else on their team. There's nothing else for them to do on the map, so they're probably going to be running up towards Baron. Just assume everyone's going to be around Baron. Once the first set of towers falls, everyone's going to be in the Baron area, probably, unless there's some reason for them not to be. Unless, like, a dragon just spawned, they really want, like, an Infernal or something like that. They're going to be around Baron. So just keep that in mind. Just as your default, they are there. And if you don't see them elsewhere, that's where they are. Just assume they're there. Okay. Good. Okay, so this is pretty much most of what I saw just for Sion in general in the game. So take objectives when your team gets ahead, push faster after kills, practice hitting CS in the practice tool, start fights if you have superior numbers, ping more, communicate with your team, and then watch that mini and watch out for ganks. And like I said, just in general, in terms of just overall meta considerations, especially for your elo, I do think that it's very difficult to win with pure tanks in the top lane right now. Like, I think if you're trying to win games, playing stuff like Sion or playing stuff like you can kind of do it with Cho'Gath, but Cho'Gath's sort of similar. I think of Cho'Gath as like a better version of Sion, but now this can be a little deceiving also because some of the best champions top aren't going to have a high win rate in bronze because people can't play them correctly. I'm just trying to see, like, statistically what's winning a lot up here. Sion is pretty far up there. Swain's another one. Swain's very different, but he is really good. Yeah, so Nasus for some reason is not going to be up that far. But I still think that like Nasus is the best, especially for bronze. Alawi's really good too. Garen's all right. Just champions that have a whole lot of raw power that can 1v2 if people don't respect them. And, you know, if you really wanted to carry, like, super hard out of bronze, you know, I would highly recommend that you play something like a high-scaling fighter right now, especially with Conquer. They're really good. Darius is another one who's a great lane bully. He can get ganked and killed, too, later on, so he kind of has some Sion-itis. But I think that Renekton and Darius are both good lane bullies that transition, have pretty good team fight presences as well. So those might be a couple to consider. You know, but champions like Fiora and Camille are amazing, but they are a lot more difficult to play than Sion or some of these other things that I mentioned. So if you want to one-trick something top lane, those might be worth considering. But if you're not going to one-trick, I wouldn't bother with them. Jace is really good if you're like Challenger or Korean, but other than that, I wouldn't do it. Ornn is a pretty good tank, but once again, tanks just have problems, I think, top lane right now. Because of the Conquer. Now, Irelia is okay now. I think she might be getting released next patch. I don't remember if it's 8.7 or 8.8. This is 8.6 on this patch for people watching in the future. And we'll see. She looks pretty strong, but I don't know her exact numbers. So yeah, I mean, that would be my recommendation for you is, you know, Sion can win, but I would pick something that scales harder because Sion just falls off. Like I said, he has good early game stats, but he doesn't scale as hard. So if you're up for, you know, considering other champions or you just want to try out some other stuff, I do think that, like I said, Nasus and Alawi would be some of the top ones that I would recommend. And then if you want kind of a more... Alawi's kind of an early game bully. If you want something that bullies even harder early game to kind of match Sion's bulliness, I guess, then Renekton and Darius might be a good call. Then if you want kind of a more difficult to play, higher skill cap fighter type of champion, then I could recommend, I would say either Fiora, Camille, or Jax would be the good choices. Trundle's also pretty decent in certain matchups, but that'd be those would be the things that I would recommend. I don't know a lot about Yorick. He has the highest win rate right now, but he can be good. I just don't know his matchups well enough. He's a very good split pusher, so maybe Yorick is worth considering. Kale's another one who's like okay if she gets to a lot of items, but she also has some problems. So yeah, I mean, Yorick might be worth considering. I just don't know a ton about him, honestly. Swain is very good. He's just a different style of champion from what you're playing. Like I said, the closest stuff would be Nasus, Alawi, and then Renekton, and then if you want to do like Jax, Fiora, or Camille, those are the best one tricks. Okay, that's going to be it. Thank you very much, Chris. As always, I really appreciate the generous donation. Hopefully this helps you out. Just let me know if you have any questions. Anyone else out there, if you want a coaching video, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. Happy to set that up for you. And otherwise, I'll see y'all next time. Have a good day.